gotta send a text message really quick.
Yeah, my family group chat. It's on like 47 messages. It was on like 40 yesterday. I opened it, dropped a hot response, and now it's on 47. So I don't know what they reacted to in my response, but it got the ball rolling again. So the family, they're having some sort of discussion.
I muted my family's group chat.
Yeah. All right. So I don't want to, I'm same. I don't think, yeah, like, I don't know. Part of me always feels bad about it, but it's just like, all right, you guys are sharing recipes since 5 to 9 p.m. My phone's going off left and right. You got to chill out with this.
I love them. I mean, I wish them all the best.
Yeah.
I miss them. I don't see everybody like I would like to, but all those, listen, my family group chat's crazy. The other day they were sending like pictures of like plots, their burial plots. It was like, my uncle was like, when I go, I want something like this. I'm like, bro, I don't want to see this morbid shit.
I wonder what's more frustrating for mine, like being in a family group chat where they're discussing things that you may not want to hear or be interested in, or mindlessly scrolling Instagram and Twitter. Like, which one is worse for the human mind?
Definitely family group chats.
Yeah.
At least there's like, sometimes there's like porn on Twitter. You're like, oh, okay, cool. You
know? Yeah, there's no porn in the family group chat. Or at least I haven't opened this 47 messages yet. I don't know what sort of thing they released. I did almost accidentally. So I was joking around my dip and I sent a butt pic. And I was also messaging with the group chat. And I was like, uh-oh. Like, I opened the phone. I was like, did I send this to the group? I didn't, though. So it worked out. But I did, and I don't know if you ever had this. I sent so one of my good friends, his wife has the same name as my dip. So like one time I messaged my friend's wife something along the lines of like, oh yeah, it was cool hanging with you too. I appreciate that booty boop. It was something like very like, it was mild, but I put like the butt emoji with the peach on there. But it could have been worse. It could have been. I didn't realize until like 45 minutes later, and I was like, "Oh no!" Because
you let it marinate 45 minutes.
Yeah, so like they probably had a discussion, like my friend and his wife, of like, "What are we gonna do about this Kirk situation?" I'm sure it made sense. Like, oh, this doesn't seem like it's for me, but it was just like, oh man, I put an emoji next to my dip now, so now I know the distinct difference between the two.
So did you message the wife back, or you message your buddy like, buddy, yo,
both
I just messed up?
Both. I messaged her back immediately like, oh my bad, this was meant for the dip, and then I messaged him screenshotting it of like, yo bro, just a heads up. Like, I'm gonna put an emoji next to my dip. Just wanted to give you a heads up on this one, and I think we're in a good place. I think.
Yeah, because now she actually wants y'all to run a train on her. So she's like, I always wanted Kirk. Who do you know?
Do not talk about my friend's wife that way. Do not talk about my friend's wife
that way. Sorry, friend's wife, but I had to go there.
No, you didn't.
At least I'm not messaging you asking about your booty, okay?
That's true. I took it a step further. Property Ebonics. Welcome to Proper Ebonics. You're watching, you're listening, you're smelling it. You know what it is. Proper Ebonics, episode 97, I believe.
Really?
Yeah, Pat said this episode. No, 98. Yeah, good job. That was my bad. He told me like 5 minutes before this. I messed it up. We're on episode 98 of Proper Ebonics.
Episode 98, man. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's like 2 away from 100.
I think so. Yeah, I don't have a pen and paper in front of me to do the math, but yeah, I think that's correct. We were talking about what we should do for episode 100. Pat suggests that we have 100 guests on for episode 100. I immediately shot it down. I said, Pat, do not say those words. And then we went our separate ways.
What about a guest per minute?
No, I don't want to do this. And when you frame it that way, that's a little bit better, but still, no, I don't want to engage in 100 people.
It literally could be just like, we just have like 20 questions and we just ask the same question 5 times. You know what I'm saying? One question per guest. It's just like, tell me the worst job you've ever had, and then just go.
You know what the issue with that is? We would have to cut them off because these people are going to talk too damn much. They're not going to respect the whole minute rule. They're not going to be able to like compress it in a minute. They're just going to be like, "Whoa, do you have an extra minute and all that stuff?" Who knows? Maybe this is something we play around with. I was thinking of asking a particular person to be the guest. I think that would be kind of cool. We'll talk off the air who it is going to be. We'll see. It's definitely not Bow Wow.
Producer Pat said Bow Wow. Listen, man, I love Bow Wow, so I would like go crazy. I'm a stan. I'm Bow Wow stan.
I mean, you've been in New York, man. You may be able to like see Bow Wow around. I don't know if the 40/40 Club's still there, but he's probably chilling 40/40 Club. How's everything going in New York? I believe you just did the show there.
Yeah, man. Last night, not last night. Shit, I'm out of it. Like yesterday was just a wash for me. I just slept a lot. But Monday.
You mean Columbus Day, your favorite holiday?
Indigenous Peoples Day. I had the Mass Hysterical show. I had the last one at Hunky Dory.
Yeah, it's all right.
They're closing their doors on Halloween. So we went out with a bang, yo. I've had all these members come up to me telling me that was their favorite show so far.
Very good. Very good. Was my brother there? Did Brian show?
I don't believe Brian showed up.
All right, just let me
I'm starting to think you don't even have a brother.
You know what? I'm starting to think the same.
Yeah, so he wasn't there, but there were a lot of people there. This was the most RSVPs I had for a show, which was good, man. I was happy with it. All the comedians killed it, and I'm not even just saying it. Like whoever like put the line together was like that was me. It was like it was like perfect, man. It was a really good show, man. I had a good time, man. We had my homie Elliot Chang dropped in for a guest spot.
Very good.
Elliot got 2 Comedy Central half hours. You know what I mean? It was like it was a really good show, man.
Were there any mentions or people trying to get in using like the Columbus State discount? I recognize fully Indigenous People Day as thing. I just I find it humorous to call it Columbus Day at this point.
I don't think anybody even mentioned the holiday once. Like neither day, Columbus nor Indigenous people. It wasn't even. I hate to say this, but like I wasn't thinking about it like at all. Like I literally forgot that it was a holiday because I don't have no job, so it's not like things change for me. I just do the same thing every day.
Yeah, I think even like for certain jobs too, like there's no like meeting at Burger King for Indigenous People Day. Like it's just kind of the same routine thing. I think the only difference, like maybe not even the post office. I feel like it's the exact same thing. Like we never really got off Columbus Day as kids, did we?
I think my kids were off.
Damn, did we used to get off for that day?
I'm pretty sure we did. Like I told you, I don't know if I told you this last time, but when I went to the bank, they had like a sign on the door a couple weeks ago, like we'll be closed on Columbus Day. And I was like, that's not even what it's called. You know what I mean?
I know, right? It's like, you mean you'll be open then, right? Because what is that day?
It was less traffic on Monday. I remember that because I was doing like some running around and stuff I had to do. And it was less traffic. So
well, something that won't be on Indigenous People Day, nor the non-existent Columbus Day. We're linking up. We're having a little Proper Ebonics mini reunion in Carlisle, Pennsylvania at the end of the week.
Is Pat coming? Pat, you coming?
That's why I said mini reunion. I was like, I don't know if Pat's going to be there. Pat's going to be there. Oh, snap. Pat said he's going to be there. It's going to be a full-blown reunion. Oh, man. Nice. Damn. Full-blown Proper Ebonics reunion in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, of all places.
That's what happened. Shout out to Gary Limoge for booking us on the show. Making it happen, because without that, I would not be in Carlisle.
I love that it's just 4 comics as well. I'm doing a few shows where it's like, come to the show. We got 12 to 18 performers, a few guest spots on there as well. It's like, that's a long night. I like that this one's a compact 4 people. Maybe there may be a guest spot. We'll see. And then I like that. I like that structure. That's a good amount of comedy. No disrespect to the 18 people comedy shows, but it could be a bit much at times.
No, I want to disrespect the 18 people comedy shows.
Disrespectful.
I would like to let y'all know that there is a limit of comedians. I don't care how much time. If the comedians are doing 1 minute apiece, the audience still gets drained from the bringing up people and the please give it up for and the over and over again. Like 12
people
is a lot.
Go home. People after like an hour and 20 minutes at most, people start looking at their clocks. Like they're like, all right, this is even, you could laugh up a bunch, but then just having to mentally prepare yourself for like a headliner after 120 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like not 120 minutes, hour, 20 minutes. Oh, that'd be crazy too. It's like, oh, well, now I got to really prepare myself to like have all this energy for the headliner, where it's just like, we just saw 15 people before you. I get it. I think a lot of times bookers, it's like they want to put, you know, a lot of people on, which could be cool for a lot of the comics too, I think. But yeah, I think the audience fatigue is a very real thing.
It's not cool for no one involved. Not
In
even
what
the
way?
comics. You're doing the comics at the end of the show at this service. You know what I mean? It makes it tough. Like when you got double digit comedians,
Yeah.
bro, it's too much. I don't care if they're doing 3 minutes. It's a lot for the audience. It's draining.
You don't think that's good for like, say, like if it's a comic that hasn't really been on a show, and like a show like that gives them a bit of an opportunity to do like a hot 35 minutes. Do you think they benefit from it?
No, because the audience is drained. If you 15th on a 16-person lineup, like it's the worst. Look, I never forget this. I did a show at Broadway Comedy Club, right? 2 or 3 years ago. And it's like their show, like the industry room show. If you do well, you get passed, and you can't perform unless you bring 5 people, right?
Right.
My people were running late. So they told me, they was like, you got to go at the end till people get here. Bro, I performed 22nd.
Oh my gosh. On a showcase.
22nd. And then the booker goes, you should have started off with a little bit more energy. I'm like, energy?
Oh my God.
Energy, bro. They had 21 people ahead of me. There was no energy left.
The energy was depleted by comic number 8. That's
right.
I don't know why they do those as showcases. Like, I get it because it brings people in. Like, it's hard to bring someone in, but like, hey, come to this industry open mic. Like, it is a showcase in a lot of ways, but it's just like, damn, that's like 22 people. That doesn't feel like a show anymore.
It was just them playing numbers game. They booked a lot of people, 5-person minimum, 2-drink minimum. Like, it's, you know, they had a good day.
Yeah, you know, I think who it's a hot move for. Say if you're like a newer comic and you're up number like 3 to 6.
Yeah,
that's a good look for you right there. If like you go up, you smash, and then like the end of the set, you see the perspective is like the audience sees the headliner supposed to be like the main feature, and they don't do as well as you, or they don't get as big of a response as you. I think in that way they kind of win in some ways. They get a hot crowd.
Yes, that's true. But people at the end suffer. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
So let's leave it to 8 max. Right. 8 is a lot, but
yeah, 8's
max, bro. Like
that should be the new rule right there. You got to put that out there. I've been going to a lot of like open mics and all that stuff lately, of like just a different open mic sort of thing, and I've been like interacting with new people that it feels like there's almost like a I was supposed to say new breed, how corny that sounds, but almost like a new breed of comics that like I haven't really interacted with prior, and I've been like kind of like, you know, engaging a bit. Something I've noticed, maybe you could speak to this a bit, of like, have you ever like heard some of like the woes of like current like open micers? And I don't mean that in a derogatory way, but like people that are primarily doing open mics, like the current woes is something that I was not able to relate to as much. So
to answer your question, have I heard them? No, yeah. I haven't specifically heard them. I haven't been going to open mics like I usually do. Like I usually, when I go out, I'm usually popping in at shows.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure the woes are probably just like the old woes, or just like new age version of the woes from 2 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, that's
a good way to phrase it. I was about to say, because it's probably not that much different, but like I notice a lot of it is very much heavily centered on getting on shows, which it was always there, but I guess I'm noticing it more and more of like how much it's like kind of voiced, which isn't a bad thing. It's not, I don't think it's like a negative thing to like have that ambition to want to get on shows. It's a lot of times that's the goal right there.
Right.
I just never, it didn't seem as prominent while I was doing, like when I was first starting and doing open mics. And maybe because I was in it and just didn't realize it.
I think that it's a good thing to be to be ambitious like that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I think it would be a problem if people weren't talking about it. Like if people were like, I don't really care about the shows, I'm gonna just stick to these open mics. You know? But I think that shows that people want more. And when people want more, they'll do what it takes to get there. You know what I mean? So I think I think it's a good problem to have. I mean, it's not even a problem, but it's just like they're just trying to figure it out, because honestly, there ain't no no guide, no rule book for this. You just got to just figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I guess when I hear it though, there's times when I'm like, oh, I hope they're enjoying the process too. Like I hope they're enjoying like even just going to different mics and like being able to like showcase them that way.
Yeah.
And sometimes I almost get the sense of like, oh, is the open mic just there to get on a show sort of thing? Which I don't know if that would be, I can't imagine that would being a great experience of like, oh, yeah, just go to this just to get on a show. Not to take away from them though. I think it is a good thing to ultimately want that.
How does that work though? You don't just get on shows by just going to open mics. That's not it at all. I know a bunch of comedians that go to every single mic and never get booked.
Hey, you got to be, because that's essentially like, that's what I tell people for like, when they want to like do shows like in a particular area. I was just like, oh, do the mics in that area. That way, whether it be the booker or like people that book shows, they see you there. And then that's how it worked for me in a lot of ways. Like, oh, if I wanted to do something in a particular area, I check out whatever they have there, do a material, and then often it leads to being on shows in that particular area.
So you just brought up a good point. You're doing material that often leads to getting shows. I think that in order to get booked on shows, you have to be funny and be a good person.
Right.
Maybe these people are going through it because they're neither, or they're lacking one of those. You know what I'm saying? Like people just don't like you, or people don't think you're funny. Like
it could be.
That may be it.
And some of them too are just like legitimately pretty funny. Like some of them are like very funny, and like I can see very much like being like, if I was booking something, I would book a lot of the people that I'm seeing like around recently because they have funny stuff. It's just I didn't realize like how prominent that line of thought was, and maybe I feel a bit detached from it in a way.
See, that's how look, Kirk, you out here in these streets, man. Kirk getting booked so much, he don't even realize people ain't getting booked. Big ups to Kirk.
No, man. It's fall is my my off time, and I'm getting too many damn shows in the fall. Fall is my time where I want to rest. I want to hibernate. I want to like focus on the holidays. But I'm getting too many damn shows, man. It's like historically over the last few years, fall is when like I kind of just take a dip. I hide away. Then I come back around January. Something happens in the Lehigh Valley and Steel Stacks. It's like, oh, I guess I'm back.
Yeah.
And then I'm just out doing my thing for the next 9 months or so. But
yeah,
it's been good so far.
Fall to the end of spring. That's comedy season. Like
really? Oh,
indoor. People don't. Summertime isn't comedy season, but like now because of the pandemic, people are outside doing shows outside and something like that. But like the traditional season for comedy is beginning of fall to end of spring. I mean, people do comedy all year round, but I'm just saying like that's when it's popping.
You're saying because like a lot of it's indoor, like looking for an indoor event?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. No, that makes sense. I never thought of it that way. Huh. I'm taking off half the season this whole time. I close it out strong.
Right.
The first half, you just don't see me. I make a random appearance at a casino here and there, show up in the spring, like what one. Well, I hope that you get to see some of these. It feels derogatory saying open micers. You get to see some of these comedians that are up and coming.
Stop. A lot of stop, man. It is what it is. What's wrong with that? You're in the open mic stage of your career. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what you have to start there. And the sooner you realize it's not derogatory, that's the beginning. If you're not even that, then you're not even in the game. Once you become an open mic comedian, then you're in the game. Like now you can move on and work up. You know what I'm saying? It's not wrong. I don't think it's a bad thing.
I think it's because you did sports. You probably have that positive mentality on it. Whereas like you have that like, oh, you have to begin somewhere mentality. Where sometimes they could feel like, oh, you're calling someone an open micer. You're essentially calling them a buddy. You're in your buddy phase of comedy. And it feels like, and it feels as someone that like gets on shows and shit, it feels like, oh, am I like being derogatory? So I'm being mindful of that. Producer Pat suggests a black belt versus a white belt in comedy. That's true. Dealing with a lot of white belts in comedy.
He says a black belt is just a white belt that didn't give up. So we all start there. That's what it said. We all start there. You just gotta work your way up. And I think that the people that you're hearing talking about getting on shows, they're ready to put the work in and move up. So that's it's a positive thing. I don't think nothing bad with that at all.
We're gonna have them on the 100 guest episode of Proper Ebonics. I know we just shunned the idea of having more than 8 comedians on a comedy show, but this is an exception. We could have it there. Speaking of which, let's switch things up a little bit. Let's get some goals.
No, let's do it.
This is a comedy-based one. As mentioned last time, I have those 2 headliner sets at the end of the month, doing 30 minutes for each, which feel pretty good about, but I'm trying to idea of like structuring and formatting. And that's another reason why I've been doing these mics a lot. My goal for the next week is to almost like an Excel sheet. I'm going to write it down instead, is to write out all of my bits, not write them out, but note all of them, all the bits that I have in bullet point, and then extra bullet point, like the extra tags that I have for them, see if there's room to elaborate on them. But furthermore, more so just like have them in order and see how they could flow solidly for 30 minutes. Like what would be the best product for that? And I think that's essentially would be helpful down the road, even beyond these shows. So that's going to be the goal. Lay out all the comedy, maybe revisit some old stuff, and just get a kind of like an overview of all of it.
I think that's a good goal, man. I do that a lot. Like I do it in my phone a lot, where I just like, even if I don't have like a long set coming up, I'll just be like, yo, what are all my jokes? And and I'll put them all in order, and I'll like grade them A level, B level, where I need to work on, things like that. And also when I do have like a longer set coming up, one thing that I always do, because this is the kind of comedy that I do, the way I like to do it, I'll put them in order, and then I'll make sure I have a smooth segue for that way. It don't feel like I'm doing like joke 1, joke 2, joke 3. So like that, this is me though. You know what I'm saying? Like I always take that. And when I don't have a smooth transition, I don't feel like I'm doing it. Like people gonna laugh, but it's just, I feel like it's like a better, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. It's like a better story. I don't know, like a better narrative
of jokes.
Like it's just like, it just flows. Like, I do that a lot.
I think that's cool. I never thought of the idea of like the rating system of like A material, B material. I kind of just do it in my brain and kind of have like connotations of certain bits, like, oh, this is something that I know is solid, but actually breaking it down, I may integrate that into my system for this month as well. So thank you for that.
Yeah. No, I'm excited for you. I wish I could come to. I know you got one on the 23rd.
Yeah, I think that's White Swan. I'm missing my friend Jackie. She's having a Halloween party. I'm gonna miss it. So I'm kind of bummed about that. But the show itself should be cool. There's part of me that was like, oh man, I wonder if I could like dress up, do the set thing, like go to the Halloween show. I'm like, it's focus on the show.
You just go as a show up and just go as a microphone.
Go as a microphone, yeah.
just show up all black,
doing the bits, yeah. Hey guys, I'm here. I'm dressed as a headliner. What's up? Just be a real dick about it. That's my the goal.
All right, so here's my goal. My goal is a health goal.
Ooh.
I kind of sprinkled and dibble dabble in it last week, but I'm supposed to be going on a little vacation at the end of this month. You know what I'm saying? So I might be where it's sunny at. So I gotta make sure I look good. You know what I'm saying? I gotta take my shirt off. You know what I mean? So this was tough for me. I did it last week, but like my goal is to like, it's not gonna be forever, but I want to do like a smoothie for breakfast, a smoothie for lunch.
Okay.
Like that's my goal. Cause like I was doing good with the smoothie for breakfast, but the smoothie for lunch thing and like that, cause I like to eat lunch. You know what I mean? Like I was doing like kale and spinach and pineapple, like smoothie for lunch. I need to stick to that. What's today? Today is the 13th.
13th. Yeah.
I could do that for like 2 weeks. I think I would look and feel a little bit better about myself. You know what I mean? Like
it sounds like an ad in Cosmopolitan. Like it sounds very much like if I do this, there's the whole idea of like a intermediate fasting. And it sounds like you're kind of dabbling in that by having a lighter breakfast and lunch sort of thing. Have you ever put like oats or wheat, some sort of grain into your smoothies?
Yeah, I have had that with my, like the one I make for breakfast is usually the same thing. It's peanut butter, banana,
nice,
almond milk, dates. I cut up some dates and I got like some little protein powder I put in there and a little dash of nutmeg.
Ooh.
So when you put oats in that one, that tastes good. Like it's really good. You know what I mean?
I commend you on it. Doing it for both breakfast and lunch is difficult. Lunch, like at breakfast, is like, I think it's preferable actually because you like having something light for lunch. I was reading this thing where like breakfast is a myth. It was a whole thing. And you're supposed to have something, nothing but like fruit for breakfast.
Yeah.
And lunch will then carry you out through the day and dinner and such. But to do both, it's a fine line because it's like, you don't want to like, you don't want to not have energy throughout the day sort of thing. But if you do the right sort of smoothie, you can make it happen.
Yeah. I found myself like eating snacks. Like I'll eat like a bunch of fruit and like a bunch of like peanuts. Like I was just like, yo, I'm super hungry. And then when dinner time, this is the problem I came across last week. When dinner time rolled around, I was drawing. Like I was eating a whole lot for dinner. You know what I mean? Yeah. like I had made like lasagna and ate like half of it. I was like,
that sounds pretty good, actually. That's my issue is that like I'll have a big lunch and then I won't be hungry again until 10 p.m. It's like, all right. It's like I'll sometimes like get a meal at 8 and not force myself to eat it, but like it's almost like I got to eat this because then I'm going to be hungry at night and then that's bad sort of thing. So yeah, I wish you well on your endeavors, man. You get that maybe beach bod. You may be talking about a cabin bod. I'm not sure what kind of bod you're talking about, but I hope you get it.
I'm gonna have one of those bodies. You're going to see me posted on the side of Meek Mill's album, inside of Meek Mill's bus. Is that Alan naked on Meek Mill's album cover?
You're gonna have a bunch of men screaming at you, saying like, "Is this what you want, black man? Is this what you want?" For the listeners, we're talking about a recent video that's gone around. Meek Mill, the rapper, he has an album coming out, I believe. I don't think it's a mixtape. I think it's a full-blown album.
It's been out for like a week and a half.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
I've not heard it. But he has an album and he's doing like a bunch of promotion for it. And I guess you may know a little more about this, but like he has like promotional buses, which it has a bunch of images. They're all animated. I think it's by the same person who did My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Maybe it looks similar to that.
It does look similar.
Yeah. And it's a lot of it's just like women, primarily black women, like just with their like butt cheeks spread out. And like there's like a pink spot between two brown legs, which is like, I guess, the vagina. And there's a viral video going on where like this dude, older white guy, maybe like 30 or something like that. He's like just screaming at it, just like, is this what you effing want? I can't believe this effing shit. Black women, is this what you want? Is this what you want your kids to see? Which in a lot of ways, good point. good point. I didn't expect him to take that turn. I thought it was just like a racist dude. Yeah. But yeah, and he's from Philly too.
Yeah. So the album art is cool. I don't have any. Like I don't physically have the album, so I don't even look at the artwork. But to see it spread across like a bus, it definitely was like, okay, yeah, he tripped a little bit. Like you definitely got like naked. This is a painting and it's artwork, and even a black woman made the art.
Oh,
a black woman made it, so it's cool. Like that, it's cool for an album cover, but it looked kind of crazy spread across like a city bus. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, how would you feel? I don't have kids, but like if you were walking past and you didn't know the context, or I guess even if you did know the context, I mean, what sort of takeaway would you have for it if you were with your kids?
So I'm one of those kind of parents where like things that happen in the world and going on, like I don't really shy away from it. Like, so my kids see it, I'm not gonna be like, yeah, that's nice, right? But I'm gonna be like, this is what's going on. This is why it's here. You know what I mean? This is what's happening. I'll be like, it's artwork, you know what I'm saying? And this is, you really can't, it's funny, if somebody's art, you know what I mean? You just interpret it how you want to interpret it and you take away whatever you want from it. And like, but you don't know what they're doing or what they're thinking. So I would explain to them, like, you ain't got to be bent over on the side of a bus, but for this person's art, this is what they wanted to present. Like it's their art.
Yeah.
I don't like that's why like Lil Boosie was getting like all mad with Lil Nas X because he was like, how am I going to tell my kids about this stuff? You tell your kids the same way you tell your kids about
your music,
heterosexual sex. You just talk about it. You mean like you don't really you're a parent. Like if you don't want to talk to your kids about what's going on, then don't have them. Like what do you?
That's a good point. I'm on that don't have them, but I'm like I don't want to talk to my kids about this. It's my primary reason for not having kids. I'm like, I don't want to talk about any of these crazy stuff with you, sex ed and all that. It's going to make me feel icky. So instead, I'm just not going to have you.
It's a good reason not to have kids because it's very uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? And I know it's uncomfortable because like my parents, my dad never had the sex talk with me, you know, and it's uncomfortable. It's not something but I feel like you need to be on a level with your kids where y'all can have these conversations. Like I'll tell my daughters, like, I know you don't want to hear this, especially coming from your dad, but this is what it is. You know what I mean? Like this is.
No, I hear that. I guess part of me wonders with in the Meek Mill situation of like, I want to know more about the art too. Not that I'm going to judge it anyway, at least like on a conscious level, but like, why those images though? Like, you know, why have Black women spread across like that? Like, it feels like we have a lot of that already, and it feels like a lot of times it could feel derogatory and trite too. Like, it's very much like, you know, we see enough of it. So why, when you have like this platform, why go with it? I don't know if there's a good or bad answer, but I am curious.
Well, the name of the album is Expensive Pain.
Oh,
so on the artwork, it's jewelry, it's cars, it's women. Like these are things.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it makes sense. Like these are might be things they cost a lot of money. It's like women with like probably got their bodies done, and it's just like expensive pain. Like this is what he's going through in his life. This is what he's seeing in his life. Again, like you can't be like, well, there's too much, but you can't show. But like, I'm gonna show this, but somebody else can go show some books or something. You know what I mean? So it's just like,
no, that makes more sense too. Like if it's commentary on what we're seeing and kind of everything I just mentioned, that could be slick. Perhaps I need to give the album a listen. The Meek Mill bus, turns out it worked. It's got the streets riled up, and it's got Kirk's Spotify ready to go.
Did you say the Meek Mill bus or the Meek Mill butts?
I said bus, but I could see how both would apply because he had some notable bottoms on there. Man.
It was good marketing, good promotion. Like
that guy gave him so much promotion. I had no idea Meek Mill even dropped an album.
See,
I had no clue. It was some random white dude from Philly screaming at the bus that let me know that Meek Mill has a new album. Meek Mill may have hired him.
Now he's from Philly. He said he's from Philly, so you might know him. Listen, that's some slick marketing right there. See?
Damn. Oh man. All right, Meek Mill, you may be ahead of the game much more than we're giving you credit for. So
right.
I may have to check that out. Speaking of game, man, people being kind of the head of the line, we got I feel like something we agree on is one of the comedy pioneers, Dave Chappelle. He dropped The Closer, one of his last specials out of his Netflix deal. It was released on Tuesday, and the streets are talking. The streets are talking. The barns are talking. We're talking. Everyone's talking about it, man.
Social media's talking.
They're typing, bro. They're all over the place.
No, they probably got their phone to their mouth talking. And like, I can't stand Dave Chappelle.
First off, did you see the special?
Of course.
Yeah.
You know. I think I'm gonna preface this by saying I think Dave Chappelle's the GOAT. Like that's just what I think. I think he's very funny. So, of course, I watched this special. You know what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't wait till it came on. Like, I went home. I think I had like a beer. I was like, "Oh, we're gonna watch this shit." You know,
some dad shit right there. I'm gonna have a beer. All right, that's gonna be my vice tonight. Ooh, it's a Tuesday. No, I get that, man. I feel the same. Dave Chappelle has always been like, that's one of the first. I don't need to go on an old Dave Chappelle praise thing, but I will anyway. One of the first comedy influences, we're seeing him in Blue Streak. And while he wasn't the star of Blue Streak, his role in it, like that cemented it for me in terms of like, wow, that was really notable. I enjoyed every second that individual was up there. And then, I'm not going to list the guy's IMDb, but we know what he's done. Right. I watched the special, and my takeaways from it, and this from me saying like Dave Chappelle is one of my favorites. It had highlights. It had moments of just like, whoa, that was like really funny. But it seemed like the main objective, and he has prerogative to do this, was to kind of get a point across. Rather than focus on making those points be clever or necessarily even funny in some ways. It felt very much like, hey, I'm frustrated with a few things and I want to make these statements.
Yeah.
And it feels like that was the priority over humor, which I think he has all the right to do if he wants to. I think that's the one part of it, though, that makes it different from Sticks and Stones, his previous one, which also got a lot of flack. That one, it felt like the priority was humor.
Yeah.
So I feel like that was one thing that stood out to me on this one. One thing that's getting a lot of criticism is like the mention of and the use of the baby, which that he got a lot of flack for that. No spoilers or anything, but pretty much the bit revolves around how the baby feels so weird saying that. Feels how the baby was able to the baby shot a black man in Walmart. This is how Chappelle phrased it: shot a black man, didn't lose his career. He hurt gay people's feelings during that concert during the summer, and that did have a heavy effect on his career. And then Chappelle challenges us to kind of see where he's going with it, and kind of a comparison of how criticism for certain groups may not be equal. Yeah. A big takeaway with this one that I think is another reason what made it a little bit different from Sticks and Stones is that it was kind of a false equivalent. Because the baby, that was like a self-defense. Someone was trying to rob him in the Walmart. The person happened to be black and he shot him. Versus the incident where he said that stuff at the concert, that was an unprovoked attack. No one was trying to rob the baby at that concert. He was just like, here's some hot takes on the LGBTQ community. So I think that was one strong difference, is that was kind of omitted from the bit that felt a little, dare I say, a little cheap.
You know what's funny? He could have used a million different black men dying references, like
right,
a million.
He knew the baby was like, a funny
when
one.
When he first said it, I was like, I see what you're saying, but he purposely did not tell the audience that it was self-defense.
Right, which that's it's a form, and I don't mean it's necessarily a negative way, but it's a form of like in comedy. A lot of times you do manipulation, and like you kind of like pull on different emotional strings, and that was an example of one, I felt, and he's very good at doing it. I guess just that was one example of like it didn't feel as sharp or maybe as accurate. I almost feel like this is sacrilegious. I'm like talking about Chappelle like this, bro.
No, nobody's above criticism. We're not even criticizing him. We're just telling our opinion. Like, we could do this. Chappelle not gonna see this, and he's not gonna not bring us on tour now. Like,
no, I'm not even saying that, but I'm saying like how it makes me feel. Yeah, this is new words. This is a new line of thought that my brain can't fully process. Like, are you talking negatively about Chappelle? It's like, oh my goodness.
He could have just chose any other black person dying. That could have. I mean, his point is, you kill a black person, everything's fine. You hurt the LGBTQ community's feelings, then everything gets flushed down the drain, all your hard work. That's all he was saying.
The ramifications are much stronger. That's what, that was he suggesting with it.
You could just use he could have used a different murder. Like, black people die all the day, unjustifiably. You know what I mean? Like, and people get away with it, and nothing happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could have did anything. It's not like he's no longer the GOAT because he.
Right. I don't. We'll get to this in a second. A lot of people were calling for a special to be pulled down. I don't think should be done. I don't think that's going to help anyone in any way. I'm curious. I've touched base with some of my people. I touched base with one of my buddies who does identify as gay, sort of thing. Kind of like was curious on their take, sort of thing. Of like, was this something that like not necessarily offended them, but like, did they find it funny and all that? And one person was straight up like, I didn't watch it. They're like, yeah, I'm not even going to bother watching. Like, there's some people that watch Sticks and Stones, and after that was like, I'm done. Like, it hit them in that way. I didn't feel that way. Like I said, I thought the priority was humor, and it is, it's staple of stand-up. Like, that's what he was doing with that. So I didn't feel that way, but there seems to be a prominent thought more so for this one.
I like the people that just don't watch it.
Yeah. I
like that. I love that. Just like, we talk about this a lot when it comes to artists and their work. Should we separate it? Should we not? I don't eat Papa John's because I don't rock with Papa John, who he is as a person. I'm not gonna go on Twitter and bash him every single day. I may make jokes of my own because I'm a comedian, but I'm just not gonna support them. That's it.
Simple as that sort of thing.
It's just kind of like they want to take him down. Like, why you want to take him down? Only thing that I can see why you want to take him down and take it off Netflix is because in your eyes, his jargon is harming people. So now there are people like following him that are just like, yeah, forget those transgenders, and they do harm to them. Like I could see that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But just for me personally, I just don't support somebody I don't rock with. I'm not watching nothing they do. Like if Papa John dropped a special, I'm not watching that shit. Like I'd
be a little curious if Papa John dropped a special. This dude does like a tight 20. It's kind of nice.
Like we got the meatballs and the black people. We just put it on top of the pizza. Like I don't know what
people going crazy over it, sort of thing. Yeah, I mean, I recommend. I think that's a good line of thought of like, if you're a fan or if you're just curious, watch it. If you know it's something that you're not going to rock with, but you want to watch it for the sake of having a bit of anger. Like I think there's a lot of times like when you're scrolling like a world star hip hop and you just want like a surge of negativity because it almost feels like an outlet for you. I feel like that's not good. So if you feel like, Chappelle's like something that's going to bother you, maybe just don't watch it. But at the same time, I don't want it to be like if this is something that you deem heavily problematic, just ignore it. Because that also feels kind of like a weird thing to say and suggest to people like, oh, if this is something you deem problematic to your community, like if there was like a known white comic who was just like saying like, yeah, we need to bring like slavery back, and people were cheering left and right, and it was like big in the zeitgeist and people were loving it. And then I had like a white friend telling me like, oh, Kirk, just don't watch it. That would make me feel a certain way of like, oh, well, maybe they just like I'm being disregarded. And it's easier for you to enjoy your entertainment instead of kind of taking in my thoughts. But some people may say that's you don't have to take in other people's thoughts too, though. So
yeah, like I guarantee you, there's white comedians going around saying stuff like that. I guarantee you.
But I'm saying like on an arena level.
Kanye West said that slavery was a choice, and Kanye West is pro MAGA and all this other stuff. I just don't support him. I make my jokes about him. I just don't support him. Like you know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to get Kanye canceled. That's why I said this before on here. If everybody does what they feel makes them happy and just focuses on themselves, things will work themselves out. If there was so many people that was against Dave Chappelle to the point where they just didn't watch the special, Netflix wouldn't keep giving him as much money as they give him. Right. So it's kind of like you watching this special just so you can go attack him. It's counterproductive to what you're doing, because now they're like, oh, he's getting views. He's getting paid every time you watch.
They don't care if it's an angry view or not. They see it as a view.
Right. Yeah. So I understand you just can't be silent when people are getting harmed. I get that. But what I do is I just don't support them. And if everyone just didn't support, he wouldn't have as big of a platform. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, or like, and not even necessarily, I see what you mean. You're not necessarily saying like Dave Chappelle not have the biggest platform, but the idea of something that you don't like not having as big of a platform. Generally, I think I agree with that line of thought, but I do see that there's particular caveats to it too. But overall, I would say the closer for like the actual, like the closing bit, all that aside, I think is one of the most, I would say the most outstanding bits that he's done in terms of like just storytelling, the use of that emotional manipulation. The way how he did that was just masterful, in my opinion. Like that closing one of like, and I didn't know the story prior, so it was like I was hearing it for the first time. Yeah, I thought that was remarkable. So if you watch it, watch even just for that, or if it's something you think is going to bother you, don't watch it.
Yeah, I think that's why it might not have been as humorous as his previous specials, because he had a plan and a point. He wanted to accomplish something. He was like, I'm gonna tell these jokes, knock knock, who's there, but this is why we're here.
Right.
This is why we're here. You know what I mean?
It did feel like that. Yeah. He did drop a few like almost like semi knock knock ones. And I was like, oh, interesting. And then like, but he had like a point to it, and those drove the point.
Yeah, man. One thing I don't like is I didn't even feel comfortable going online saying like, "Oh, I thought this joke was funny," or "I thought," because then people just automatically think you're transphobic. It's like I'm not transphobic because I thought Dave Chappelle said something funny. You know what I mean?
Bro, so imagine, I'm wondering for the audience members, because like they've already done like still shots of some of the audience members in there. Like there were 2 audience members that weren't laughing, and they've done still shots, which I think is unfair because you may have just gotten a random shot of 2 people that just weren't laughing at a particular joke, and you're putting all this on them. But I'm wondering though, for those that may want to attack someone for enjoying a joke and maybe deem them transphobic, if there's a lot of people in the audience where you can just see their face, some of these people like have jobs and stuff. Like, I wonder what sort of impact that may have if like, you know, like it's someone sees you like, oh, I saw you at the Chappelle special having a real nice time. Sound like you were laughing a lot, getting your chuckles on. You think that's funny? And I'm wondering now, like, oh, like that stood out midway through of like, because I knew I was like, this is going to upset a lot of people and this is going to cause a lot of talk. And you kind of get to focus on the people in the audience of like, oh, what are their reactions to this right now? And I wonder if any of them had to face any sort of social ramifications.
Question: so do they have to sign like a paperwork to be on that and like audience member on a Netflix special? Like, you got to sign all your rights to be shown on TV?
I imagine not. I don't know if Chappelle has like a special thing. It's probably different for different people, but I imagine if you agree to come to the show, maybe, who knows? I've heard him with the cell phone, so maybe.
You might have to, like, when you buy your ticket for these shows, like, yo, it's possible you'll be on TV. Because you just can't put somebody on Netflix. I'm pretty sure you just can't. Like, when you buy a ticket, they're probably like, you purchasing this ticket is your approval of using your likeness and your image. Like, I'm pretty sure.
It could be. Yeah, so they could have signed off on it, sort of thing.
So if that's the case, then it's whatever happens, happens. You know what I mean? Like, your boss may not. You like, listen, you can find somebody that's a diehard Chappelle fan, and those 2 fans that weren't laughing. Oh, you weren't laughing at Chappelle during that one joke? You gotta go.
They're like, no, I love Blue Streak. No,
you just caught me at a bad time. I was drinking my juice. I don't know, but like, I'm happy that what he said was it was the last one, because I feel like he's now puts an end to this, the whole his beef with the community. You know what I mean? So like, maybe come back a couple years, whatever you're gonna do on some different stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll be back around and all that stuff. And overall, people are still talking, but I don't think much will really change for good or bad, sort of thing. It sounds like they're not really taking it down. One thing I wanted to get into real quick, I don't know if this, I want to get your permission on this one. You want to get some prop suggestions?
Yeah, we can do it.
Prop suggestions. Do you have a phone? If you have a phone, my prop suggestion is going to go. This is going to go to you too, Alan. Call your provider, especially if you have a phone and internet package that's dealt together and all that, or really any service. But let's focus on phones. Call them, I would say, every 2 to 3 months and see what promos they have. I guarantee you they're going to hook you up with some sort of deal. You could just randomly call for something of like, oh, I just wanted to make sure that I have this amount of data, get pretty good in with the clerk, sort of thing. And then be like, hey, what sort of promotions do you have if they don't already tell you already?
Right.
I called Verizon for this. I don't even remember what I called it for. Called them last week. And then I got like a promo deal where it's essentially unlimited data for free with the plan that I already have too. And that has happened before. Like it's annoying, like having to call like every day. So don't do that. But every 3 months, call your provider and you may get some sort of good deal out of it.
No, what's funny? Like, if you have, I'm still one of the few people that has cable.
Oh my God.
And you got to like be on top of like Comcast, because they'll do like deals for like new people for like their bill be like a third of what your bill is,
right?
And you got to be like, yo, bro, but I'm a loyal customer. Like, well, these are just for new people. I'm like, okay, well then cancel my service and make me a new person. Like, you know what I mean?
Sounds
like
that.
I do that all the time. You know what I mean? So it's just like, yeah, you got to check in on that stuff, because those companies are running up on you. They got things going on, and they won't tell you. I mean, you got to put the work in.
It's messed up. Kind of messed up that they don't do that. It's like, I'll take it to another level. Hospital bills, same thing. where like there's a lot of like programs within hospitals where like they have financial assistance where it's income driven. And if you fill out that assistance form, you could get like $1,000 procedure covered almost at 100%. But they don't advertise it though. You have to like kind of put the work in for that. So definitely for hospital bills, but also for phone bills as well. I think that's a good thing to do that the people may be able to connect with. That is my proper suggestion.
Gotcha. All right. So here's my suggestion. My suggestion for the people, this is something that I've been trying to drill into my oldest daughter's head because she's like me and she's funny and she cracks jokes on people about everything. Right. And I got to tell her, like, you got to be more graceful. Like, I think that people in general got to just move with more grace in this world because you don't know what people are going through. You know what I mean? So it's like, I guess it's even after all the talk about Chappelle and stuff like that, it makes me think about that even more. You know what I mean? Like, no matter how you feel about anything, just be graceful. Like, you don't know what somebody's thinking in their head or what they living is going on in their lives, things like that. You know what I'm saying? So you just gotta like, it's something that I'm trying to learn too, because I'm an asshole. Like if somebody like got like a stain on their shirt, I'd be like, oh, this guy with a stain on his shirt. But like not knowing, like he has a weak neck and he can't like sit up straight and eat his food. You know what I'm saying? So
damn, you just want to double in on that person with the stain on the shirt.
So you're saying I gotta just show more grace and be more compassionate. You know what I'm saying? For the human race. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's a general that's a good suggestion to have, especially with the comedy people. I feel like it's very much almost encouraged of just like people speaking jokes. Like, you ever brought like a non-comic to like a show or mic where it's like a bunch of comics?
Yeah.
Like sometimes you forget until you speak with that person of like, whoa, it's very much like everyone's just joking. It's like, it's a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Like I've brought people and they're like, whoa, it's kind of draining of like, and a lot of times it's just like, all right, well, you know, it's good to joke around and be in good spirits. But a lot of times the jokes can feel a bit like, you know, oh, mean. And that's not necessarily like the worst thing. But it could be a part of it as well. And you never really know. Sometimes people could be going through something heavy and you drop something on them that you did not think that would be an issue.
Yeah.
And then they're writing some like wild note on Facebook later on that's too like anonymous sort of thing. So you got to be kind of mindful of that.
Definitely got to be more graceful. And there was another thing that I had seen. I was at a show and the host, he's my homie, right? So I ain't gonna say his name right now, but like, he was like talking to the audience. He was like, oh, you guys are in a relationship? How long? And he was like, oh, where are you from? And then he put him to this table with these two women. He was like, oh, nice. You're a mom and a daughter. That's nice to see you guys coming out. And they were like, no, we're friends. I was like, yo.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Bro, look. And what made it worse is I'm in the back howling. Like, I was like, no, he did not. And look. So then the one lady was like, so who do you think is the mom? I was like, don't answer that question.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, people get sensitive about that. For me, yeah, if I heard that and saw that, I'd be like, I mean, props to either one of them. If one of them is the mom, like if you have like a mom look to you, but you're like maybe like 27, in my eyes, that's a good look right there. That's a good look. People don't take it that way though, and by society standards, it's seen as an insult.
No woman wants to be thought of as looking older than she actually is. Period. Not a single one of them.
That needs to change, bro. I realize that I'm a dude saying it, and I'm saying it purely based off of my like heterosexual attractiveness and all that stuff of like attractive towards like elderly women. But I don't know. It's just like, I guess from like a biological standpoint, the connotation, like if you're older, you can't reproduce, and it's seen as society as like your value is dropped, and I just see that as garbage. But as you know, also for people that have reproduced in their moms and all that stuff when they're older, I think that's just rad. I think that's just such a cool thing. Not even just like in a sexiness one, but a lot of times they say cool stuff. Like I feel like I'm able to have like longer conversations with them and all that stuff. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, but this woman probably can't have the conversation that you want to have because she wasn't older. Okay, she was just.
I know, right? I'm like over there, like, hey, so like, as you get older, is it easier to forgive people? And she's like, I'm 22, and it's like, all right, well, I can't, I don't know what I can't. Sorry for bringing up that question.
So she's like, no, I don't accept your apology. Okay, I'm only 22.
That's my second prop suggestion. If you're like chatting up with an elderly person, and it's nice to do some of the sexiness and all that stuff. But ask some life questions, ask some philosophy questions about like, hey, what is this like later in life? A lot of times they drop some gems.
Yeah, I'm not asking like a 50-year-old woman. She's gonna tell me about menopause. I'm like, I ain't gotta worry about that. All right.
That is a trivialization. They do not just talk about menopause, bro. Like there's other components of their life. They've had menopause, children. They have adult children.
Then they got bunions. It's just a lot,
That too. That too. How to deal with that. Well, listen, bro, I'm about to go do late night grocery shopping. I've been off the September, no drink September ended for me. So like I haven't been drinking a lot. I've had maybe 4 beers in the month of October. Nice. But I think I'm going to treat myself to a heavy beer tonight, like a strong beer, and find a horror movie to watch. I think that's what I'm going to do for the night.
So the show that we have on Friday is at a winery, right? They don't have wine for us?
Probably. Yeah, they probably have, like, I imagine. I hope. Right. I don't think that's all they're paying us in, but yeah, I think like
no. Yeah, I don't do. Not in the business of free shows. I'm not in that business anymore. I'm not an open micer anymore.
Yeah, if you're an open micer, you may have to get paid in wine. And I was about to say a wine, but I realized I don't know any wines. Merlot. I was about to say Merlot. If you want some Merlot, do a show. But yeah, they could catch us the 15th of October. This episode probably won't be out by then. But if you see us on the street, you could ask us how that 15th show went. You can do that.
Well, also November 4th, we're doing Meg and Alyssa's show at Punchline Philly.
Yeah, Ghosted.
Punchline Philly, November 4th.
Definitely check that out. It's going to be a fun show if you're in Philly. Come through. Shout out to Megan Getz. I'm going to her album recording on Saturday. That should be fun at the Grape Room. For myself, I will be after the show on the 15th. I'll be doing the White Swan on the 23rd. I'll be in Harrisburg for the Comedy Zone. Mike O'Donnell's shit out of a hat. I'm doing that should be fun.
Shit out of a hat. I think it's shit in a hat.
Is it shit in a hat? Who's shitting in a hat? That's weird. But it's gonna be on October 20th. That should be cool. A lot of fun people are going to be on that one. And then on the 21st, I'm going to be at the New Fish Brewery in Somersville, New Jersey. Jesse Duram, he's doing a show out there. So doing that before the White Swan one, and a few other stuff coming out later in the month, including November 4th for Punchline.
Next week on Monday, I think, what's that? I don't know the date. I don't know the date of Monday. I don't know.
It's all construct, bro.
I'll be at it's the 18th. Monday the 18th. I'll be at Stand in New York. Then I'll be
very nice.
The Wednesday I'm gonna be at Bedford Manor in Brooklyn. Ooh. Thursday I'm double dipping. I'm going over there with the homie Nate Marshall. Nate has a show in Jersey City on Thursday, 21st, and then I'm hopping over to do the Grizzly Pear Comedy Club.
What's it called? Grizzly Pear Comedy Club?
Yeah, Grizzly Pear. Yeah.
Oh, that's a cool name for a comedy
club. My girlfriend calls it the Wrinkle Peach.
Did she just call pears Wrinkle Peaches? Is that what she's called?
Because she couldn't remember the name of the club one day. She was like, "Where are you doing that show with the Wrinkle Peach?" I said, "Excuse me."
That's a different club. That's the Improv Theater. Yeah, man. Well, we'll be on these streets and stuff. Like, subscribe, do all that stuff. But ultimately, listen to the episode, and we hope that you enjoyed it.
Yes. Good talking to you. I'll see you on Friday, Kirk.
Yeah, man. I'll catch you around. Peace.